Good morning, everyone. This is Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations, and we are running a little late. Scott got a late start out the door, but we got him on the road. He finished the bathtub repair and climbing in the closet and sitting with his legs crossed. He's 66 years old, and that about did his knee in. So he's struggling with knee pain today. So slow going, but we got him on the road and he's off to work. And I'm here to do my day 8 of Inktober. Good morning, Ann. And I'm going to just do an apple. And I've got out a red, a green, an orange, and a yellow for my apple. I'm just going to put a big old apple on here. And I'm going to start with the stem. There's something on the end of that still. I find starting with the stem gives me a better chance of getting the right shape. And I will come back and darken these lines up. So I'm going to just color it in. Oh, yeah, we struggling a little bit this morning, but we're getting there. Oh, the screen doesn't want to do either. There we go. Morning, JL. And morning, Vicky. All the early birds. I don't know what's with the yellow. There we go. It's like I have to get it flowing after every single time I set it down. The moon sure was bright last night, wasn't it? It lit up the sky here. We have thoroughly enjoyed watching the moon this week. When I used to work the crazy early morning hours at Michael's, I'd have to be there on Wednesdays at 2 a.m. to unload the truck. I'd get to, they put me as the sorter, and I'd have buggies like in a circle or horseshoe around me, and I would sort the big boxes, the stuff that had to be sorted immediately and put on the shelves, like the entire store shelves type situation. We did all the regular stock that day, and I would sort them, and I'd have them by the way the store was laid out. So I'd start with scrapbooking and go all the way over to Wilton. Hang on, Howard's being a jerk again. And you're going to run off when I open the door, or are you going to go out? You're going to run off. Okay. I'll prop it for a little while. He's He's always so worried he's going to get trapped on the porch. But because I was right there at the front door sorting stuff, I could see out the big glass windows, and I'd watch the moons. And one night, one of my bosses, Joe, and I, we were working an overnight because we had to shift all the craft paint from the art side to the other side of the store, the more craft side of the store. And we would run up to the front door and we'd look to see where the phase of the moon was, because it was an eclipse, a moon eclipse. And we would go up and watch it for a few seconds, and then we'd get back to work. I miss those people that I worked with there. It was a nice place to work until they went publicly traded, and then it was all. When I first started working, they were privately held. And then they said, "Oh, we're going to go public." And I'm like, "Oh, this place is going to go right down the toilets now." Because once you have to answer to shareholders, customer service goes in the toilet. Because the people with the money, they don't care about their customers. They don't at all. They care about how much money you're bringing in for them. So I would rather deal with somebody that privately owns the company. That's what happened to Joanne's. Oh, I'm so sorry about your bedroom. Scott said, Jesus, behind me last night. I don't know if you guys heard him, because when I was reading off everything that had happened in your bedroom, and he was just like, holy shit. Sorry, not a children's show here. When you said they had to take the wall too, I was just like, oh, I would be so mad. I don't know if this looks like an apple or not. I should have looked up a picture. Maybe it looks more like a tomato. Oh, we got a big old glob coming on here. Does it look at all like an apple? It wasn't too bad sleeping on the couch. I told Scott when we get the front room finished, I'd like to get myself a new recliner, because mine is really old. It was a hand-me-down from his mom, and the cats have dug it all up. It's still functional. It just looks like hell. And it's starting to show its wear even more so than just where the cats have done it in. But putting a little orange back in for some light spots. And I've got to color the stem. So I'm hoping it looks like an apple. I thought I had the brown out too, or the Goldie color. Let's use this Goldie color for the stem. I was going to buy myself a jug of apple cider. Wow, they want a lot for that. It's $6 at Walmart, even at the market. I'll wait. They'll mark it down. There's not too many people that around here that care for apple cider. It's something from New England that I just love to get every autumn. So later we're going to do a page in the little journal, and I'll come on after Anne. And I got some more stuff moved in the front room, and I thought about doing a video of what's in the chest and look through the cedar chest now that it doesn't have the antique radios on top. It could be fun. I've got the newspaper from the day Greg was born in there, and he was born on a Sunday, so it has all the ads. So I could show what a newspaper looked like in the 80s. I thought it would be a fun thing to do. Now, what color should I do the background? Maybe just an orange grid. Oops. Hi, Teresa. Oh, see, that kind of stuff is what I miss the most. Let's do like a shadow a little bit over here. To get, it would take us about 10 or 12 hours to get up to New York for New England cider, but I just can't do that road trip by myself anymore, that's for sure. I did that once. I drove up for a class reunion one year, and I was wore out. And then what you don't think about is when you can't switch drivers, and you're the only one holding your arms up to steer for that many hours, days later, you'll be in so much pain. Because I drove up and stayed a couple days, and I ended up coming home a day early because I was going to stay for the Labor Day picnic, but I just wanted to get home. And then I'm not thinking about it being Labor Day weekend. I had a horrible time finding someplace to stop for the night, which was kind of scary, and foolish on my part. But I found someplace I could sleep a couple hours, paid too much for the room. But I just wanted to get her off the road for a while. Scott had just had umbilical hernia surgery, so he couldn't make the trip. It's why I was on my own, and I felt so guilty leaving him. But I'd bought the tickets to go to the reunion thing, and I ended up giving his ticket to one of my classmates because they weren't going to attend the big alumni banquet at the golf course because they hadn't bought their tickets, and I just left it and said, just give this to Tina when she gets here. So they only had to pay for her husband to get into the banquet. Now I'll darken up my dark lines. I'm going to make them a little sketchy. So there's my apple. Does it look like an apple? The camera's having trouble with the patterns in the background. Yeah, my family would do, they'd make apple cider in the milk house room, because the milk house was scoured down every day with bleach and chlorine, after every milking. So it was super clean in there. And then after we did apple cider, we'd clean again. And yeah. Because we were an old-timey farm. We had milking machines you had to strap on the cows. They were really heavy when they were full. So, yeah. Oh, 15 hours. That's a long haul. I'm good for like 4 or 5 hours max these days. Riding in the car, even just riding does me in. You know what I didn't do is I didn't darken my edge line. So I won't be doing that trip to New York by myself again. And I told Scott, I said, if we did decide to go up there, we ought to just save up and buy plane tickets and rent a car for a trip that long, There we go. There's day 8. I will be back later on, and I'm going to do some things this morning. And I will see some of you after Ann later. And Ann will have to let us know if they're going all in on her house today. All right, see you guys later. Bye.